What are your thoughts on fishing?
Fishing, I don't really have much of an opinion on it. Like my brother fishes a lot, and I know a lot of people who do like to fish, especially around here, because there are a lot of like ponds, lakes, and rivers, especially like the Neuse River and stuff like that. So I just think it's a fun thing that people do.
Do you know what commercial fishing is? And if not, what do you think it is?
Commercial fishing is, I believe, the use of big companies that sell meat and fish. I don't know if they fish in the sea or if they make the fish themselves, but I think they artificially breed them and they keep them in a place just to use them for food.
What are some pros of commercial fishing?
Some pros of commercial fishing, I think it helps with, what is the word? It helps with, it's not extinction, but it helps with controlling the species. So if they're creating the fish themselves, they don't have to worry about like the fish in the wild, like them running out because they're always replenishing and that stuff. And I think it keeps it controlled so it doesn't spread to other places of the world that it doesn't need to be.
What are some cons, do you think?
I think cons obviously are the ethical dilemmas. Like, should we be able to control breeding of fishing? Should we be able to control other animals' lives? And a lot of like people like vegetarians would argue that it's just not right to use animals in any way for food.
Do you know any of like the different fishing techniques that the boats use out on the ocean?
I know there's like obviously like there's nets, there's like the regular fishing, but apart from that, I don't know much.
Do you see any issues with like the nets they're using? Or
Yeah, I can. The problem I see with the nets, of course, it's a net and it's supposed to catch fish, but when you have a net, it catches other stuff. So I believe that a lot of these companies, they might catch things that they're not supposed to, but instead of throwing them back in the water, they'll just take them or throw them in the trash.
so do you know what bycatch is?
No.
Bycatch is pretty much what you just said, where like they're catching other species, like the untargeted species, like sharks and rays. So with that being said, recently there was a shark caught off the coast of Taiwan that was in Hawaii and was caught on camera that was 21 feet long and had 14 pups in it, but it was caught as part of bycatch in a commercial fishing in Taiwan. Do you still think commercial fishing is like a good thing, or
I feel like commercial fishing, though, like the whole point of the companies is obviously to make money, and when they do this, they just try to get as many fish as possible. But like these companies, they don't care about the bycatching, they don't care about the sharks and stuff like that. And I think that is a problem that needs to change. I think there needs to be more regulations on commercial fishing and what we can catch, how we treat the animals we do catch. But the big problem with it is that when people do commercial fishing, they do it a lot in international waters where you can't really keep laws and regulations. So it's a really tough kind of situation. But I do believe there should be some more regulations on it.
thank you.
Of course.
What are your thoughts on fishing?
Um, I like fishing. I mean, I personally own a fishing pole and go fishing sometimes.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's a nice pastime, I guess. It's kind of boring, though.
Do you know what commercial fishing is? If no, what do you think it is?
Yes, I know what commercial fishing is. It's when they drag the nets on the bottom, like of the ocean in Finding Nemo.
Yes, that's a way to do it. Yep. Okay. What do you think are some pros of commercial fishing?
I mean, it helps bring in a lot of, like, a big quantity of fish that'll help, like, feed the general population. And, I mean, it's easy, I guess. I don't really know too much about it. I just know what it is.
What are some cons that you can think of?
Well, I mean, in the movie, Nemo got stuck in there. So, like, sometimes they probably don't get the, like, types of fish that they necessarily, like, need. And so they're killing fish that they don't need.
Do you know what bycatch is?
No.
It's what you just said. It's them catching like untargeted animals like Nemo or sharks and other stuff.
Gotcha.
So, do you see any issues that can come from commercial fishing?
Yes. I mean, it could, like, kind of bring the extinction of, like, types of fish that kind of hang out with the similar groups that they're trying to, like, rack in, I guess you could say. Also, I'm sure there are problems, like, where the net don't always, like, stay on and they can, like, get loose and just pollute the water, which isn't good.
So, you're a pescatarian, right?
Correct.
What does that mean?
That means that I don't eat, like, red meat or chicken, but I eat seafood.
So, why can you eat seafood but not chicken, beef, or pork and other stuff?
Well, water makes up 75% of the earth. So there's lots of there's a lot more. The concentration of fish, their population's a lot higher than other animals. Also, no offense, but you don't really see many videos and stuff of the abuse of fish. And I mean, yeah, I guess commercial fishing probably isn't the best situation for them. But there's a lot of them, and also their gestation rate, they have a lot more kids at one in one sitting, I guess you'd say, or in one period. So it's easier for them to reproduce, whereas other animals, they can only have maybe up to 5, whereas fish can have hundreds of babies at a time.
Okay. Thank you. What are your thoughts on fishing?
Fishing can be fun if it's recreational, but it can also have detrimental effects on the environment.
Do you know what commercial fishing is?
Yep, commercial fishing is a lot, I don't know the dictionary definition, but essentially you'll have large boats often run by larger companies that will go out and fish in mass quantities that can have really harmful effects on the environment.
What are some pros that you can think of about commercial fishing?
Obviously, you do get a lot of fish, and sometimes you can get a lot of variety with what you're catching. Yeah, I think the lot of fish part's probably the biggest pro.
What do you think are some cons?
Definitely your biggest one's going to be harm to the environment. If you overfishing, then you're limiting the amount of fish that are there, limiting the biodiversity, which can kind of escalate into bigger problems in the ocean.
Do you know of any of the different fishing techniques that they use?
I think it's called trolling or trawling.
Yes, that's one of them. Do you know what bycatch is?
When you catch a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah,
when you're trawling or trolling, however you say it.
Yeah. So what do you think could be some issues that come from bycatch?
Kind of what I talked about with the cons, you're pulling extra stuff that wasn't necessarily intended to be pulled. So not only are you maybe pulling in other animals to limit the biodiversity, but plants are damaging some of the habitats and stuff.
So I'm going to give you something that happened, and then you give me your opinion on it.
Okay.
So back in January, there was a 21-foot long female great white shark that was carrying 14 pups found swimming off the coast of Hawaii. But then in March, actually last week, it was found dead in Taiwan. All 14 pups and the shark was dead because of bycatch. What do you think about that and commercial fishing in that aspect?
That's awful. I mean, especially just ethically, that's awful. But even if you consider the impact, having a shark, which is pretty high on the food chain, that can really ricochet down. If you have 14 new little baby sharks that were supposed to be coming, that's just more bad. More loss of, what are those called? Predators. There we go.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.